What am I? What's your name? Kunar. Better. His question is, what am I? What am I? Being a fairly well-read person, I am feeling a temptation to just start answering it on the basis of all that I have read so far. And there are books and books, entire libraries on this question. Who am I? What am I? Where do I come from? What am I here for? What is the purpose of life? There are entire libraries devoted to this question itself. I have read a little bit, so I feel the temptation to start answering. But as soon as I want to answer you, beta, something within me reminds that Konark already knows the answer. That Konark already knows the answer. When he already knows the answer, what is the point in me answering? Then there is an even more wise voice that comes to me and tells me that Konark not only knows one answer, he in fact knows more than one answers. He knows two answers at least. How can I tell something to somebody who already has an answer, even two answers? I cannot. I must not. If I do that, it would be an injustice. So how do I answer you? I'll answer you by asking you that don't you already have a lot of notions about who you are? Your question is, what am I or who am I? Konark, don't you already have a lot of beliefs about who you are? To start with, Konark, answer me. Konark, answer me. See, he already knows he is not Konark. And Konark, how are you feeling when I was calling him? What's your name? Rishabh. How are you feeling when I was calling Rishabh as Konark? Were you feeling good or awkward? Awkward. Konark already knows that he is Konark and he is asking me, who am I? You already know you are Konark. And who is Konark? Konark is the 60 kilogram thing sitting in that corner. That is why when I do not look at that corner, but I look at this corner, it does not appear to be right. You already know that I am this body. What's your weight? 60, 65? 60. See how I guessed it right. Konark already knows he is that 60 kilogram body sitting in that corner. When you already know so much, how can I answer? See how much he knows. One, he knows that he is the body. Second, he also knows that he is the name. Right, Rahul? Yes, Rahul? I call you Rahul and you don't like it. You are Konark and you are that body. I look at this direction, you don't like it. I call you Rahul, you don't like it. So you already know at least two things about you, which is that you are the body and that you are the name. Are you with me? Are you with me? When you already know this much, how can I tell you anything further? And you are not only Konark, you must be having a surname as well. What's your surname? Kumar. Konark Kumar. Not Konark Jindal, not Konark Khare, not Konark D'Souza, not Konark Karzai. Konark Kumar, not Konark Patel. You understanding what I am trying to say? Your surname is an entire history of your clan, your khandan. You are carrying so much with you. You are carrying so much with you. It's very difficult to tell you anything further when you already know so much. When you already know so much, it becomes very difficult to tell you so much any further. I challenge you. I ask you right now to write down 20 sentences beginning with I am, and you will have no problems. Most of you will have no problems in writing down 20 sentences beginning with I am. What all will you write down? Yes, let's start. What all will you write down? I am an AKGCN. I am going to be a civil engineer. I am a good boy. I am a human being. I am a student. I am a college girl. I am a student, a scholar. I am, yes, come on, a good sports person. I am, louder, louder. It won't stop. 20 is a small number. You won't stop at 200. A son, a daughter, an Indian, a Punjabi, handsome, beautiful, powerful, muscular, intelligent, smart, sexy, whatnot. You won't stop at 200. You have 200 or more answers for who am I? Who am I? I am a stud. Who am I? I am a student. Who am I? I am a Hindu. Who am I? I am a daughter. You already have so many answers. Who can answer you, Konark? Are you getting me? Do you see the number of identities that you are carrying with yourself? I am. And all these identities, you take them very seriously. I am a Brahmin. You dare not say anything against Brahmins. I am a Jat. How dare you insult Jats? I am a Muslim. How dare you talk against my religion? You take all these identities very seriously. You can say anything to me, but don't talk against my father. बाप को कुछ मत बोलना. India is the best country. Now why exactly? Because I am an Indian. I must be the best, so India has to be the best. I am an Indian. So had I been a Pakistani, then Pakistan is the best country. We take our identities very, very seriously. And we have already answered who am I. I said we have not one but two answers. All these 200 Konark are parts of the first answer. Are parts of the first answer. Now over to you. You tell me, where have all these answers of who am I come from? Where have they come from? Where have they come from? Who told you that you are from the Gupta family? Were you born with the knowledge that I am a Gupta? Who told you? Who told you that you are a Jain and you must not eat such and such things? Who told you that you must look in a certain way? Who told you that you must be fair, especially if you are a girl, your complexion must be bright? Who told you? Somebody told you for sure. All these answers of who am I are coming from? And what have you done? You have, like a sponge, you have sucked in those answers, and today you are attached to those answers. Today you are attached to those answers. Today if you say I am a Punjabi and I say all Punjabis are idiots, you will say come over here, one tight slap. Punjabis are not idiots. They are warriors. Today if any identity is shaken, you feel your very foundation is shaken. You are an engineer. Today, if you are expelled from engineering college, you will feel like committing suicide. No more an engineer. Because you have tied your very being to being an engineer. No more an engineer. No, nothing is left. Who am I? A wife. Now the husband goes away, wife collapses. Because her entire life is about being a wife. Now the wife obviously needs a husband. There can be no wife without a husband. The husband can go away. What will happen to the wife? Collapsed. Finished. The wife already knows who am I. It's obvious, Konark, all these are false answers. All these are false answers. And what is false? That which comes to you from somebody else is obviously false. It has no life in it. It has no permanency. It has no strength in it. It can collapse. Its nature is to finish off, die down one day. So the intelligent man, first thing, rejects all answers of who am I that have been given to him by the society and the books and the religion and the media and the teachers. He will not believe in any of those answers. He will say, fine, all these are all right. They are useful answers, but they are not correct. They are not absolutely right. I said, Konark, in the beginning, that you know both the answers. You know the false answer. At the same time, now I claim that you also know the right answer. Do you all see that you know all the false answers? All the false answers you provided to me, right? Now I am telling you that you also know the right answer. That too you will provide to me. That too you will provide to me. It will take some work. It may take some digging, but it is already there with you. It will come out. Should we try knowing the right answer? You want to try? Or should we stop at the false answers? We should try for the right answer? All right. How do we begin? Let's see. You were a child once. Konark, you were a child once. All of you were a child once? Or was anybody born this big? All of you were a small child once. Where is the child? Where is the child? Huh? Where is the child? The child is gone. There is no child. And if there is a child, show him to me. Is there a child anywhere? The child is gone. Today, you are a young man or a young woman, right? At some point, you would no more be young. At some point, you would no more be young. Where will this young man, young woman disappear? Where will he go? He too is gone somewhere. No more. But still, throughout your life, you will continuously keep saying, I am there. I am there. You will have to pay attention. The child will go, but you will say, I am there. The young man will go, but you will say, I am still there. The middle-aged man will also go away, but you will say, I am still there. If everything is going away and you are saying, I am still there, did you die along with the child? Or are you still there? Did you die along with the child? The child is no more there. The child is gone, dead. Did you go away with him or are you still there? You are still there. I am sitting. The child is coming and going. The young man is coming and going. The middle-aged man is also coming and going. Days are coming and going. Nights are coming and going. Events are coming and going. Objects are coming and going. And what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Still there. Still there, what am I doing? What is my nature to do? Still there, what am I doing? Changing. Whatever is changing is coming in front of me and going away. I am seeing that the child is going away, the young man is going away. What am I doing? Level with the time. Living with the time. What do you mean by that? Time is in front of me. Right. And the schedule is coming and going. There is day, then there is afternoon. Correct. And you are changing from one role play to the other role play. From one role play, you are quickly changing over to the other role play. Right now, you are role playing as. After some time, when you go home, you will role play as, let's say, a son. In the evening, when you are with your friends, you will role play as. The role plays are changing, but there is somebody who is not changing. What is he doing? See, if I were changing with the role, then I would never know that I am changing. The role is finished, I am also finished. But I am able to understand that the roles are changing one after the other. That means that I am. What am I doing? Am I changing? Roles are changing, I am not changing. There is something that is not changing. Correct. And all the thoughts are changing. Are the thoughts same all time? Thoughts are changing, but yet there is something that is not changing. Alright, let me put it this way. You see this board here? So much is being written on this board. Somebody comes and writes one thing. The next one comes and writes another thing. What is being written on it is constantly changing. Yet there is something that is not changing. What is that? Oh, the board itself. But the board is blank. The board in itself is nothing. The board has no identity. Identities are coming and going. You can write here, I am an Indian. You can write here, I am the most intelligent man. You can write here, I am a beautiful girl. You can write it and then wipe it away. Clear it away. Everything will change. This board will not change. This board just keeps watching. Unchangeably, it is just watching and having fun. You are that watcher. You are that unchangeable entity. You are that nothingness. This board is nothing. Blank. You are that blankness. You are that blankness on which everything can be written. You are that blankness which gives birth to everything. You are that nothing which produces everything. Quite funny, isn't it? You are that which never comes and goes. You are intelligence, that which just understands. My words are coming and going, and you are listening. That's your nature. To listen is to understand. You are understanding. You are pure intelligence. You are the ability to understand. No identity is applicable to you. You are the one whose nature is to know, understand. That is what is called as intelligence. What is intelligence? What is intelligence? To understand. So who am I? Who am I? The one who can understand. But we don't necessarily understand. Do we always understand? So I am alive only when I understand. Otherwise I am not. I am not means I am dead. I am alive only when I understand. Look at the flow of the answer that I am giving, please. It's your own answer. You must be with it. Kunal asks, who am I? I say, who am I has two possible answers, both of which are already known to you. The first is a set of identities, right? 20 statements beginning with I am, 200 statements beginning with I am. And what are we saying? That all these identities, all these answers are? Then we say there must be something true as well. And we want to explore it. And then what we find is that behind all these identities, beyond all these identities, there is something that never changes, that just watches and understands. That you are. But that you are, Kunal, only when you understand. When you don't understand, you are nothing. You are just dead. Machine, robo. How many of us want to be alive, really alive? How many of us want to be really alive? And to be really alive, one must really understand. To understand is to pay attention. To understand is to pay attention. To understand is to not to be distracted. And then you really are. Then the question, who am I, dissolves. Right? But do not rush to the second part of the question. Remain with the first part. All your identities, look at them. Keep looking at them. Keep looking at them. The more you will look at them, the easier it will be for you to reject them. What does it mean to reject an identity? It means to see that it is a borrowed thing. This is not what I really am. This is what others have made me believe. This is not what I really am. That would be interesting. That is great freedom, great liberty. How many of you want that freedom? And how many of you want to remain slaves? Then why do we live like slaves? If you want freedom, if you must be free, why do you live like slaves? It's not a fault of yours. When you are a child, everybody is too eager to give you an identity. You are 2 years old and parents already know what the child is going to become. If a girl is born, doctor. If a boy is born, now there is no fault. Two grown-up so-called adults are already hell-bent on giving you an identity. The day you are born, you are given a religion. The fellow is 1 day old, 1 hour old, and he is already a Hindu or a Muslim. The child does not know anything, and you have made him a Hindu. And all his life now he will carry this religion. A religion that was given to him with zero participation of his. You are 3 years old and you have already been told what it means to be a good girl. Good boys play with guns and good girls play with dolls. And if you are a girl and you are carrying a gun, you have had it. Right? How many of you have felt the pressure of identities? That identities have been given to me. Yes, I can see that. That these things were given to me at some point in my life. Yes. A significant number. The others must also try to see how your mind was loaded with identities. Chacha ji is good, Mama ji is a rascal. Now the child does not know, but Papa wants him to believe that Chacha is good and Mama is a rascal. Then mother comes. Your Nana is an avatar. and your dada is a dacoit. Does that not happen in families? It's happening every day. You are 3 years old and there is an India-Pakistan match going on. All Indians are angels and all Pakistanis are... Kill them. Kill them right now. Shoot the TV. The child does not even know what India is, what Pakistan is. Let him find out. And if he finds out the same thing, it's all right. Let him find out. But we were not allowed to find out. Huh? Anybody would like to give an example? Go ahead, speak. Anybody would like to give an example? Speak, speak. It's our life we are speaking about. It's not some fiction, not some story. It's from our own life. Yes. Speak. No stories. So that probably means only I am conditioned. Because I have a lot of stories. Yes.
I was good in academics, I intermediate high school. I didn't want to pursue engineering, but there was pressure from the parents society, neighbors, everyone. I wanted to pursue PhD from Delhi University, but I had to select engineering and my future. That was it.
Beta, your stories, everybody's stories, and I'm glad that you are honest and courageous enough to stand up. What's your name? Shadanan. Beto Shadanan. Good. Honestly, really honestly, how many of you chose engineering out of your own sweet free will, with no influence, no pressure, no coercion from anybody? One-fourth, one-third. And even in these cases, the one-fourth or one-third, if we investigate closely, it may turn out that there was an influence, if not direct, then indirect. You may not even know that there was an influence. The others already know. There is hardly anything in our life which is happening out of our intelligence. Most of our life is a story of the influences that are working on us. Most of our life is a story of the influences that are working on us. Not a good story. Is it? Yes? Yes? You want to live like this? Continue? How many of you want to continue like this? I don't want to continue like this. How many of you want to continue like this? How many of you want to break away and join me? I'm glad. I have so many more friends today. That's my entire job. To create more and more friends amongst breakaways. So good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the Breakaway Club. Club Breakaway. That's what your entire HIDP is about. That's what your entire HIDP is about. Breaking away from your chains. And all chains are here. If the chains are here, it's easier to break away. Because they are visible then, right? And you'll be irritated that why have I been enslaved? You'll want to cut down your chains. But because the chains are here, so you can't see them. They are much more dangerous if they are here. Your chains prevent you from expressing yourself fully in role plays. Your chains prevent you from understanding your mind. Your chains prevent you from enjoying life. Do you see this? We want to cut them down. That should be fun, exciting. Good. Kunal, so who am I? Of? And who is that? Who is that God? Were you born saying God, God, God? To how many of you did God come on his own? Konark, what does God look like? A Hindu you are, right? What does God look like? Quickly. What does your God look like? You are saying I am a small part of God, so God must be a bigger entity of which you are a part. What is that entity like? The Krishna worshipper will say that God is like with a sweet flute and a morpunk and a few gopiyan around him. The Christ worshipper will say that God looks like a grand old father, because that's how Christ used to call him. Oh Father, my Father, Daddy Ji. The Muslim will say God has no shape or form. Any Muslims here? Does God have a shape? Does God have a form? The atheist will say, you know who an atheist is? Who is an atheist? Who does not believe in God? The atheist will say, God? What God? I've only seen dogs. Your God has been given to you by? Now that is very, very disturbing. Society is creating a God and giving it to me. God is not creating society. We thought God created everything. Sorry, boss. No, God didn't create everything. We created God. As far as our God goes, we created him. So who are you, Konark? After all this discussion, who are you? Who are you? Pure soul. I only know one soul, which is found in my shoe. Which other soul are you referring to? Pure soul. That means soul can be impure as well. Anybody here who sees souls, etc.? Anybody here who can see bhoot pret and such things? Anybody here who can see Atma, etc.? Pure soul, God. Did you really find out that there is something called the soul? Did you really find out that there is something called the soul? I am not affirming it, I am not denying it, I am asking you, have you really found out on your own? You have just heard from somebody that there is something called a soul. If I keep believing, will I ever know? See, he believes already that he is a part of God. He believes he is pure soul. That's the entire thing. We believe too soon. Should I believe? You tell me. Must I believe or must I know? You tell me. It's obvious. Must I believe, beta, or must I know? Should I believe that there are two doors on two sides, or can I just find out? Actually, is there a need to believe? A blind man will need to believe whatever you tell him. If I am blind, I'll ask you, which side are the doors? And you will say one to the left and one to the right. And I'll have to believe you. But if I have eyes and I can open my eyes, then do I need to believe? Or do I need to find out, Rishabh? Find out. So find out. And you are capable of finding out. You are capable of finding out. The Breakaway Club is a club of finders who have the potential and who will find out on their own, who will help each other find out. You help me find out, I'll help you find out. But we'll not ask each other to just believe. At no point will we ask each other to just believe. Yes, we'll help each other. I'll say something to you. But whenever I'll say something to you, it will be to enable all of us to enable all of us to believe or find out. Find out. Whenever I'll say something to you or I'll give a handout to you, like the one that you had today or had last Saturday, it will be so that we can find out. I'm saying something to you just as an enabler. That is not the last word. Please do not start believing what is written in your handouts. Your handouts are meant to stimulate you so that you can become active and find out. Your handouts are meant to stimulate you so that you can become active. Your potential may arise, awaken, and you can find out on your own. Do not just believe in them. Will you? So who are you, Konark? Who are you, Konark? Quickly. That's the most honest answer you can give. Silence. You know what he's saying in his silence? Do you know what he's saying? Yes, loudly. I don't know. And that is the most honest thing one can say. I don't know. And that's a beautiful and neat point to start from. Can I know if I already know? Will I ever know anything if I believe that I already know? So it's the best place to start from. That I don't know. Do not be afraid of saying I don't know. Promise you, when I won't know, I'll say I don't know. But I'm open to finding out. I don't know, but I'm open to finding out. Let's have this attitude. I don't know. And then you will know a lot. It's a funny thing that those who say that I don't know actually come to know a lot. And those who say that I already know, they not only don't know, they also don't get to know. Not only do they not know, they also don't get to know. So I don't know is a very good answer, and thank you, Konark, for giving all of us this beautiful answer. Let this stay with you. All of you write down this in bold in your notebooks. I don't know, in caps, in bold. I don't know. Who am I? I don't know. Who am I? I don't know. All right, next question.